Today, I just want to kick it with some of the fellas out there. I appreciate all the subscribers. Anybody that subscribed, hit that like button. I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. It's a long time coming. It's a small journey. I got a couple subscribers. I'm looking to get more, but we land one brick at a time and we holding it down. We never stop. That's what it's all about, being consistent. And honestly, I like these humble, small beginnings because when you can look back and see how far you came putting that work in, it's no rewarding, not a more rewarding feeling, I must say. I built businesses and built things from the ground up. And so I don't mind putting in the work, being consistent. So thank y'all. I know I only got about 50 subscribers at the time I'm recording this video, but it's all good. It's all love. I'm in purpose. I'll keep doing this because I know I'm reaching somebody out there. There's somebody watching me. Shout out to my boy Chuck in Lincoln. He called me the other day. Said, I see you doing the videos, bro. Keep doing your thing. And those small, encouraging conversations go a long way because it lets me know it's not in vain. I'm not doing this for nothing. If I could reach one individual and they could say, dang, bro, doing this thing, he done made a transformation. And they're inspired by that. That's what life is all about, inspiring others. One of the greatest gifts, like Nipsey said, is the gift to inspire. So shout out to all y'all, man. Hit that like button, subscribe on my channel, Respectfully the podcast. I'm doing this for you, doing it for the community, doing this for Omaha, being in purpose, giving God the glory. Yeah. So again, man, we talking today about daddy wounds. I battled with them a while ago when I was young, 14. I was real angry. And I just used that age because that's kind of when things got really crazy for me. I was 13, 14, single parent home. My mom and dad originally from Little Rock, Arkansas. Mom moved up to Omaha where we grew up. But there was a lot of back and forth when we were kids, different schools. So we meet friends here, meet friends there, unstableness at a young age, and not being able to get a lot of the things we wanted. Staying with your mom, she raising 4 kids. She got to work. She still has her life, and what she wants to, do her thing. And so with that, there you develop a lot of abandonment issues and daddy wounds, And so when I was young and got in the streets, I was real rebellious, cursing my father at some point. He would call, and I was just really angry. And it took a lot. God was with me. I was in and out some facilities, to work on that. I learned to express myself and talk about some of those things to get a lot of that off my chest. But yeah, I definitely battled with daddy wounds for a long time until I got older and then realized, okay, my dad was still was doing his due diligence, contacting us long distance, coming to visit when he can, et cetera, et cetera. So I just thank God that I was able to forgive him and move forward, which is where I'm going. Some of us don't. Some of us right now 30, 40, 25, dealing with daddy issues, daddy wounds. And it's okay because it's quite normal. A lot of us grew up in that culture and didn't have our fathers. And so we were victims of just being raised in single homes with moms and picking up a lot of those female ways, which respectfully, bros, you gotta, I'm a real one to where I would have to check myself and be like, man, that's feminine, man. You stand more upset than the female is. That's a feminine trait. Or you got more mood swings than a woman. These are feminine traits. But we can't help it, right? When you grow up in a household with a single parent mom, you're gonna pick up a lot of those ways. And so again, I just pray that you get delivered from it, whomever is still dealing with it, and identify, stop trying to condemn your parents, meaning your father and your mom, and just asking God to deliver you. And life is much more bigger than just you. And a lot of times those fathers couldn't even give us what they really didn't have. That's the reality. That emotional connection. A lot of men don't really know how to connect with men or boys. I heard a pastor say he really didn't want to have a son because he didn't know how to get intimate with another man. It's that real. Even me now, I find myself struggling. My son comes over every other weekend and we're pretty close, but there's still conversations. I know if we spent more time, if he lived in my household, it would probably be easier. But as he gets older, it's not always easy for me to just spark certain conversations that I may want to spark with him. And again, it's I don't know for what reason why. Honestly, it's like, okay, this is your son, but it's still not just as easy. So I got to be intentional. I got to push myself, pray about it, and we'll get there and find strategic ways to have these conversations. But the daddy wounds is real, and I just encourage my brothers who's ever going through it to release it. The forgiveness is for you. That's not just a cliche. That's real. You have to ask God to help you forgive your father so you can grow and move forward and get that bitter seed up out of you. And life is going to get so much better. We got all these different generations, where the older generations, granddads, our granddad fathers, they were to come home, sit on the couch, probably pop their belt, watch some TV, wife, and they went out and worked, made all the money, and just paid all the bills, and the wife took care of the whole house, took care of the entire household. We had that generation. Then we have my dad's generation, the baby boomers, who were really that generation weren't doing so good if we being honestly and transparent. No, nothing against my father. I'm just saying in general. A lot of men, that's why I came up, which a lot of people in my generation, we came up fatherless because that generation was coming home from war. They was getting on drugs. Um, Drinking heavy for whatever reason, and that's just one of the many reasons. Some were just sleeping around. They were what they call them rolling stones, going from house to house, making babies. So it was just a huge fiasco, and that led to our generation. And I think what happened with our generation is we came up and we wanted to do better. We wanted to be there for our sons, and not everybody. There's still a lot of no good dads out there, but we want to be there for our kids because we know what it felt like not having that father around, and even to this day, shout out to my daughter. She's a victim. I wasn't there, but I thank God that my daughter's mom chose a good man, and I was never worried about that because she's a good woman, and so she had a father figure in her life. So shout out to you, bro, for always holding it down. Every time I see him, it was nothing but respect. I always told him I appreciate you, man, and as men, we got to do that. I wasn't there. Is he perfect? Is anybody perfect? No. I'm sure there was things going on, disputes happening, but at the end of the day, I appreciate you and respect you, sir, for being there, being a father figure, being a male in my daughter's household. So that's me, man. I'm just honest and transparent, and I grew up without my father, but me and my father to this day got a good relationship. Shout out to you, pops. Love you. This is just all respectfully. This is just my truth, just like it's other people's truth. So our generation, I think a lot of us wanted to do better because we knew where we came from, and now we're trying to do that. We're trying to get back and make things better for the future generations. So that's all I could speak on far as those generations. But we got to break a lot of those generational curses, bros. Like as I was saying, a lot of those our granddads, they had multiple wives. They slept around. They all had a baby somewhere, two, three, four, five of them. And no shade against them. Respectfully, it is what it is. But we got to do better. You know better. You do better. You are the man of the house. We have to lead, but you have to work on yourself and build yourself up in the things of God so you can know how to lead right. We as men, we're supposed to be submissive to our wives as well. You don't learn the word of God and then just use that to take over the household and condemn the wife for everything as she's supposed to be submitting to you for every single thing. You should be submitting to your wife, doing things in integrity and with dignity and goodwill. And when that happens, the wife will be submissive. But again, just I encourage my bros to continue to build yourself up. My man who my age, we 40 plus, bro. We done tried everything else, man. You from the streets, that didn't work. Uh, you've been ripping and running, doing your thing, being a Rolling Stone here, there, multiple kids, whatever the case may be, respectfully. You done tried it all. God still got you here for a reason, my brother. We still here. We still breathing. We still got opportunity. So I encourage you, man, to get into the things of God, whether that's going to a church, whether that's getting in YouTube, following a good pastor, somebody that's relatable to you and that's feeding your spirit. Get with it, bro. Whatever it takes to lift you up. Slow down on the drugs and alcohol, get into a gym and start working out, learn to love yourself and take better care of yourself so you can be that person, that good father, that good son, that good brother. Because one thing that happened when I had my son and he was little, and this is when I had a reality check, when me and his mom split up and he would come over to my house and he 2, 3 years old. I realized, okay, I can't just be getting drunk every Friday night. Saturday, I got a little 3 year old who's busy and he want to run around and go outside, play, and do all those good things that kids want to do. And it hit me early on, right then. I was like, wow, I gotta make some changes. Gotta make some changes for my baby, man. This is my boy. And even with my daughter, when I had her, it was a click. Had to give certain things up because it's like, okay, I got a child to come home to. And so I encourage and I pray for those who are not being convicted at all. They have kids and nothing's changing in your life. That's a scary individual who's not being convicted. And you have a whole baby, a whole responsibility. So bros, let's do better, man. Let's do better. A lot of us are doing better. Salute to y'all. I see all the good dads, man. And let's keep it up. Let's encourage one another to be the best we can and become the best version in this life. And another one of the biggest things we gotta do, because fathers always lead with the macho stuff, right? That's really not me. I'm really a tough guy, so I don't never try to be tough. And when I say tough, I got my emotions and all that, but life has made me tough, the upbringing and what I've been through. So a lot of times people who are tough, we don't try to be tough. I don't come with the macho stuff to my son and just talk at him or any young man that I see. I try to love on them because we got to be emotionally there. That's what a lot of us men are missing. That emotional connection with your little bro or your son. Saying, me and my son I've been telling my son I love him since a baby, and still to this day I love him. Used to drop him off at school early on, praying with him before he went in, teaching him them things as a little kid, as an infant, to know, son, you're loved. You gonna know who God is. You get older, and have your choice. You have you choose as you may. But these are the things I'm gonna teach you while you within my watch and my parameter, and long as I got a hold of you. So being emotionally there is very important, y'all. We gotta be emotionally there, letting your son know you love him, having them hard, real conversations with him, listening to him, not just talking at him, letting them talk, letting them vent, get their things out. I remember my son one time at a basketball game, he got mad and just went and punched the padding on the wall. And I'm sitting there like, son, we don't do that. Like, what you on? We don't do that. But I allowed him to have his moment because he was angry, right? But when we got in the car, I let him know, son, you wasn't taught like that. And don't go punching on walls like you have this rage in you. And I identified that, and we prayed about it right away too. Or I prayed about it, like, son, that's okay. I'm seeing anger, slight anger issues. We're gonna work on that. I'm gonna monitor that. We're gonna pray about that, and we're gonna make sure that we're not having the same. That's not happening again. We're gonna make some corrections. So those type of things. I didn't come at him all tough, all crazy. We talked about it as we do a lot of things, and I try to teach him how to have loyalty, how to have integrity, and how to be a leader. Most importantly, when you get out here with a lot of these kids, it's going to be very tempting. It's going to be a lot of peer pressure, but you got to know you're a leader, son. I thank God for basketball because it's keeping him focused, keeping him healthy, and wanting to achieve, certain things that kids who don't have nothing to look forward to, and they're not. And let me not say that because there's things to look forward to. It just depends on your kid's interest. But I just thank God for basketball, what it's doing for my son, the trajectory he's on, the community he's building with his friends. They're all pretty well privileged kids. Um, it's diverse, black, white, but suburban kids, but still I take them down to Atlanta, the real Atlanta, and let him see what it looks like down there. And and I've been doing that for years, so he can never get big headed. And my son's a good kid, Shout out to my boy Zay. Shout out to you, son. So Orliv, this is one of the hottest brands in the urban streets, y'all. I just wanted to share some things. If you haven't already, make sure you go get your Orliv apparel. You can log on to orliv.com and make sure you purchase some of this hot quality product that's trending right now. It's been trending for some years. You're finding people in Omaha rocking the Orlive, of course, Louisiana, ATL, New York City, Kansas City, all throughout the states. Make sure you tap in and log on to orlive.com and get you some apparel. A little bit about this brand. The brand serves as a uniform reminder of how people survive through things they love in art form. The designs also have their own meanings. The Dotson dog represents that we all times can be a stray dog in the world, but eventually find our way home. The Dotson is also unique because they have a longer lifespan than other dogs. The O, which is on the back of most of the shirts, represent a never-ending circle, a reminder for us to keep going with no end in sight. Some of our designs also incorporate a giant leaf which comes from a tree. The pando tree is unique because it is a tree that grows in groups and its long-term survival is uncertain because of all the negative environmental factors surrounding it. It continues to thrive in conditions where it shouldn't. In many ways, we humans are similar to the pando tree. We both need oxygen, we both thrive when we are together, and we both survive in environments where we should perish. In the end, we both will do anything to survive or live. Y'all tap in. Shout out to my boy Lafayette, man, pushing that Orlive brand. Make sure y'all go log on to orlive.com and get you some of that hot trending apparel right now. Everybody's rocking it. It's the latest trend, the latest product, and you want to get you some. So yeah, like I was saying, shout out to my bros, man. Shout out to my bros. A lot of us is doing our thing with the kids, man. And we got to continue, make sure we pushing morals, values, and principles. We're in a world right now, 2025, where it's very scary. I know the parents before us were saying the same thing in the 90s, because the 90s was rough. It was very rough, and we were outside. So I can imagine what we put my mom through. I can imagine how my dad was feeling, knowing his son is all the way miles away, all the way in Omaha, out in the streets. I can imagine, and I just thank God, when I see my son at his age 15, and I just think sometime, and I can get teary eyed just thinking, wow, at 15, you know what I was on? But God was keeping me. God was keeping me. So I don't like to backtrack and go back there. One day I'm gonna write a book because I went through a lot, as most of us, a lot of us have. But I thank God that I'm on this side now. Thank God I'm on this side, and I'm still on this side of the dirt, and I'm on this side of the fence now, uh, on my way to becoming the best version of Isaac. And so again, shout out to all the fathers doing their thing. But I would say this: make sure we deal with them daddy wounds. Can't run from it. You can't continue to hide and just sweep it under the rug. And if you're one of those fellas, one of those guys who run around with this chip on his shoulder, feels entitled, pointing a finger, wondering why woe is me, blaming your dad, cursing your dad out, still upset, blaming your mom, you might have daddy wounds, my brother. You might, respectfully. And it's okay. It's okay. I mean that from the heart. It's okay. I'm not a guy to sugarcoat because we don't get anything resolved. And I'm not a guy to disrespect. I do everything in respect, and then I try to do it in respect and love. And so the only way to deal with that is you have to address it. You got to identify, man, what's going on with me, And I'm pretty sure you're pretty upset with your father, you know and if you address it sooner than later, and things will get greater. It gets greater later. But we got to go through the storms. Make sure you address those daddy wounds. And we're still a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. Respectfully, man, I just want to help people become the best version of them, just as I'm doing myself. When you give, when you learn, teach, man. And we got to address these issues. We can't sweep them under the rug. You're going to find yourself becoming better for your children, better for your spouse or your woman, and better just for the world in general. And get that chip off your shoulder. Get that dirt off your shoulder. Got to get it off. Respectfully, the podcast. Much love.